Hey, what's going on, everybody? Movie Phantom here, and holy shit, it's an episode. I got the place to myself. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of liking it. So initially we was gonna shoot from the chicken house. That was like the initial plan. And Robert Cheney became sick. Yes, even ghouls get sick. So we didn't shoot down there. But thing is, I didn't like invite anybody else on the show. So yeah, wound up alone tonight. But God damn it, I'm a soldier, and we'll soldier on. Real quick update, real quick before I get started. We are going to film Misery Black Show. It is being filmed this weekend, so that'll be coming. Thing is, I guess like she forgot her password or whatnot to her channel. Instead of just making another channel, she's like, can we just upload it on yours? So, Misery Black Show is going to be coming to you on this channel right here. So, boom, there you go. Alright, I guess since I was going to the chicken house, I had everything kind of copied down already on here. So I'm going to go ahead and just, instead, transfer it to the big poster board that I normally do. So this week, I got a couple movies. Both of them begin with the letter D. And both of them are from 1981. And both of them was requested from 13th Wolfman. So, without any further ado, we have Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. And I just won this in the contest, Deadly Blessing. So boom, that's what we'll be hitting up tonight. So let's get to the show. Let's start doing this thing. Alright, I'm not gonna lie, I do kind of feel weird not having any guests. That is kind of an odd thing. I think I was initially kind of happy, and now I'm kind of feeling sad. I miss Natalie or Misery, Maya. I'm not digested. I'm not digested, but bear with me. Alright, top three. Now it was last week. I asked everybody what was their top three Texas Chainsaw movies. And got some replies back. Appreciate it. W.T. Sky Dark hit me back. He said at number 3, the remake. That was also in my top 3. His number 2 is, in fact, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. And, of course, his number 1, and I'll just go ahead and throw a spoiler alert out there because I think everybody hit this one. His number 1 is, of course, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So, boom. Thank you very much, buddy. And, of course, that was my number 1 as well. So, 13th Wolfman hit me up. And he said his number 3 was actually Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Pretty good one. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed 2 and 3. I just haven't seen them in such a long time. And I don't own them. And, of course, you know, the ones I do watch all the time seem like they're the remake, Next Generation, and the original. So that's what made my top 3. His number 2 was Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. And, of course, his number 1 was the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He just kind of went backwards on it. He's like 1, 2, and 3 is actually 1, 2, and 3. So thank you, man. Appreciate it. And, of course, we got Ghostface Kid 101. And he said his number 3 was actually Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning. And I'll be honest, I did not care for that one. And it wasn't like it was a bad movie. It just seemed like it was just more of the same of the remake. Almost like they just kind of like redid the remake. I wish it would have spent more time on Leatherface as a kid, I guess, as opposed to just like, because it seemed like it went from like him being born. Man, I think they showed a little bit of him being a kid, but it's just like it just cuts to modern, and I don't know. I didn't care for that. I kind of wish it would have been more him as a kid. Maybe it was more focused on the family and not so much Leatherface, but just my opinion. Just my opinion. His number 2 is the remake, and then his number 1 is the original. So yes, boom. Well, thank you guys for participating. Really appreciate it. Now this week, since we are doing a Wes Craven movie, Deadly Blessing, I want to know what are your guys' top 3 Wes Craven movies. Now I'm sure you guys are going to throw out like Chiller and Vampire Brooklyn and My Soul to Take. It's probably everybody's top 3, right? Sorry. No. My top 3. Man, Wes Craven. I'm not gonna lie, like to me, John Carpenter. I just love Carpenter, and with that one, it was a lot tougher. Narrowed down to 3. Craven wasn't that tough. I don't know why. There's one I like his, but it just seems like I don't know. It was really easy just to knock it down to 3s. I heard my top 3 Wes Craven films. At number 3, Last House on the Left. I just love it. It's just brutal, very dark, very realistic too. Like I don't know. It just seems like it's It's intense. It's brutal. And I love it. I think it's awesome. So, a lot better than that shitty remake they tried to pull. That was just ridiculous. Number 2, Scream. Dude, I love that movie. I think I watched it. It came out in '96. I was probably 6th or 7th grade when I first watched that movie. And you fell in love instantly. I thought it was scary when I first watched it. Come out, I was younger. But yeah, I just really got into it. And I mean, I hung out with the series until part 3. Part 4 I didn't care for. But yeah, the original, number 1, fucking awesome. And of course, number 1, let's face it, come on. Do I really have to say this? Nightmare on Elm Street. Bam. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when I saw something left, I was almost bumped out for New Nightmare. But I was like, well, I already got Nightmare on Elm Street. Didn't want to just do 2 of them, you know. So I went ahead and threw that one out there. So yes, there's my top 3 right there. So I want to know what your top 3 are. Now, anybody shouting things around me. Multiple ways to hit me up. Of course, you know, my fan friends over on Facebook. You can, you know, drop it over there. Of course, I got private messages, personal messages. You can hit me there. Video response. Right, guys? You can do it right there. Leave the comment right down below. Or movefan7@gmail.com. So, yeah. Numerous ways to hit me up with that. So, alright, now, I've been not as busy this week, so I got some news. Like, I got some fucking news for us right here. They just announced that they're going to be doing a Sleepy Hollow TV show. Basically, I guess it's going to be kind of like the Tim Burton one, where it's not a hoax. There is actually a Headless Horseman. And I guess the story is basically going to be, like, Ichabod Crane is trying to, like, he's investigating it, trying to bring down the Headless Horseman. Somehow there's a time warp, and they get transported to modern day. I don't know what town they're in. But they're here. I guess, like, Ichabod Crane is trying to, I don't know, adjust to modern times. And somehow, I mean, I guess, like, even though he's kind of out of place here, he's still a great detective. I guess he's a detective in this one. And, anyways, he's helping out the police or whatever. But I guess apparently sometime in this show, Headless Horseman came with him, and he's starring his reign of terror or whatever. So, yeah, I didn't know what town it was in. Sleepy Hollow, Jesus Christ. Anyways, yeah, but yeah, Sleepy Hollow TV show. So, I'm not sure what network just yet, but it's just been announced. Just saw the trailer for The Conjuring. James Wayne, I'm horrible with names. His new ghost movie. Now, he's doing 2 movies this year. Done back-to-back, The Conjuring and Insidious Chapter 2. And, yeah, just saw the teaser for The Conjuring. Looks pretty good. It really does. Now, if it's going to be as good as Insidious, I couldn't tell you. But, I don't know, it had kind of a neat little premise to it. There's a mom and she has a kid. I'm not sure it's the mom that was the mom in The Sixth Sense, I think. That Toni Corletti, I don't know. She's something else. I think she's the mom on Fright Night remake too. But anyways, they're playing this hide and seek game where she gets blindfolded and, you know, she's like, the kids are hiding and she's like, clap, and then a kid will clap and then she'll go that direction or whatever. But it's the scene where she's in the room and she yells for a clap, and then the door in the wardrobe opens up and his hands come out in this clap and she walks toward it. Pretty crazy scene, I'm not gonna lie. Rest of it kind of, yeah, but I think that's probably my favorite part of the trailer. But yeah, check it out, right there. Just found this out. Apparently it's been out for a little bit, but I didn't know. I just now found this out. I didn't even know what the fuck the Slender Man was at all until that game came out, and my and Misery was one who was like, you know, check this out, and we played the game and everything. Awesome game, creepy as fuck. And then I started looking into, you know, what the Slender Man is. Ghostface Kid 101, he's huge on the Slender Man, and he's another one that kind of got, you know, kind of filled me in on Slender Man and all that stuff. I guess there's been a few like kind of unofficial Slender Man movies out there, and I guess there's a shitload of just like YouTube fan films made. But I guess they released this one that's just entitled The Slender Man, and it's basically. I mean, I guess it's a legit film, like, you know, it's an actual movie, but they decided to release it on the internet because they feel like, you know, the Slender Man belongs on the internet, so this movie will be released internet only. So I checked it out, and you know what? Pretty fucking good. I'm not gonna lie, like, I was really shocked. Actually, a few jump scares in there. Family, ashamed to admit, jumped about 2 or 3 times. Yeah, it's just like the game where, because it is found footage, and that gets a little ridiculous after a while. Because like everybody has their own camera, I thought that was kind of stupid. But anyways, yeah, it's, like I say, it is that point of view, like that scene. So it's really easy to get a jump scare on there. You fucking turn, something's there, you know. But no, it great atmosphere. It's creepy. In fact, that you play the game, if you have played the game, you know how creepy that is. well, this is live action now, and I think Slender Man looks really great in this thing. There's a couple of scenes where like they had these different effects where they try to like digitize certain things, and that kind of came off cheesy sometimes. But no, overall, big thumbs up, and I wouldn't mind getting a hard copy of this somehow, and I'm sure eventually it'll be available, somehow. So I wouldn't mind actually having something I can watch on the big screen, So, but yeah, Slender Man. Boom. Just saw the trailer for My Amityville. I think I might have mentioned this a while back ago. Okay, in the Amityville horror, you had 3 kids. Okay, I'm pretty sure I read already that a couple of kids already said like it was totally a hoax. Like they're like our parents told us to go along with it. I'm pretty sure I already read that. I could be wrong. But anyway, this is just one boy. It's just one of the boys. I don't know which one it is. Anyway, it's like it's a documentary about his side of the story. And I guess he's just saying like, yes, it was haunted, blah, 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 but he's also about how, like, his dad was into the occult and all this other stuff. Yeah, it don't look too bad. It looks kind of interesting. I check it out. My Amityville Horror is what it's called. And this is a documentary about this kid, but the kid looks a little weird anyway. And you can just tell like this kid probably needs money, so he's just like, yeah, sure, there's a ghost, and he's doing what his parents did. So, boom. And finally, I'm kind of tired of hearing this shit, but it is in the news. I feel like we've just been down this road too many times. I guess Sam Raimi has already said, I guess after like when he was doing like the press circuit or tour of for Oz Great and Powerful, he's like, I would love to do an Evil Dead 4. In fact, we're going to start writing a script this summer. Really? I don't know. It just kind of, I'm like, really? We already did the remake. And then this person who wrote the article says that they feel like the remake isn't going to be... Like, remember when The Thing came out, and even though a majority of us already knew this was not going to be a remake, it was going to be a prequel, I guess they're kind of saying the same thing about this one. Like, this is going to be actually connected to this story somehow. Now, that's just what this guy's saying. I'm not saying it's true. Like, I don't see how it would be, because, I mean, you've already seen in the trailer the girl, like, chops her hand off, a la the Ash cutting his hand off in The Evil Dead 2. So I don't know if that's the case or not, but either way, I guess Sam Raimi says that he's wanting to do a Evil Dead 4, so... I don't know. I just kind of feel like we've been down this a lot, and what we got was... I don't know, the remake don't look bad. Like, I'm coming around the remake. I was glad to see that it was... I know it shouldn't make it or break a movie, but to me, it does when it comes to a movie that I didn't even want to see in the first place. It was initially going to get like an NC-17 rating. They had to cut it back for R, so I'm like, well, we're on the right track. I just feel like the dialogue, because I mentioned this before, Diablo Cody cannot write to save her fucking ass. Like, I just do not like her dialogue. It's always just atrocious and just retarded. I don't know. I don't like it. So I just have a feeling like it's going to be a lot of that. Just fucking horrible fucking talking. I don't know. But we'll check it out. We will check it out. Alright, so that's it for news. We'll move right along. Now next week, I'm pretty sure it's getting a limited release. I'm pretty sure it's already got like a video on demand release. The ABCs of Death, yes, in which there's going to be 26 different short stories in this film. It's going to be a horror anthology, and I guess each letter will correlate with a different way to die, or something like that. Saw the trailer. I've seen a couple trailers for it. It doesn't look too bad, but here's the thing: I feel like it's going to be like VHS, whereas VHS was all right, decent movie. It just had, like, for every, like, it had, a really good story, and then it'd have a couple that you're just like, and I feel like it was 26. It's going to be hard to, like, knock it out of the park 26 different times. I know they're hyping Ty West, and I'm just not impressed with him. Like, I've always seen a couple films of his, and I'm just not impressed with either one of them I've seen so far. So, I don't know, but I am kind of curious to see how this will go. But I do feel like there's going to be a lot of shitty shorts. I think there are going to be some really bad ones in there. But hey, we'll wait and see. I'll check it out. So, all right. So we got some comments. Threw it out there. Mikey. Either way, Elite. He hit me up, and yeah, I always put after I do the show, I just kind of spam it out there. I throw it on Facebook, hardcore. IMDb, I go through the message boards there. I got a couple other sites I hit up. So I just try to, get it out there as much as I can. And someone, I wrote down, I always write down the shows and everything. And this guy, at the end of every description, I always have like a special guest, and I have who I have on there. And of course, last week it was Maya and Natalie Myers. And he was just like, Maya and Natalie who? And then someone else came in, they chimed in, and they're like, Maya looks like the girl from Cursed. Speaking of bad Wes Craven movies. And I have no idea like which girl he's talking about. I'm just like, oh, all right. So I mean, yeah, I don't know if they realize like this is not really that big of a show, and I can't really attract actual movie stars. But yes, Natalie Myers, Maya, they're just homegrown talent, you know. No celebrities on this show. Not yet, anyways. Maybe at some point I'll be like, tonight on the couch, you know, we have you know, the guy who walks Sam Raimi's dog. Here he is, Jim. He's the dog watcher of the stars. Maybe at that point I can get, if I can never hit that level where I can actually get like people who know celebrities, that'd be cool for me. But yeah, no one like that on this show, buddy. The Collector 600 hit me up, and he wanted to know why I changed the mask. And yeah, like I said, back in, I don't know, it was last summer sometime. I kind of knew then that I would eventually be changing the mask up. And just because I feel like, you know, one mask gets a little stale or whatnot. And now it's like, you know what? My 1 year is like, I'm pretty sure it's in February. I think it's 17th, I believe, is like when I first started doing the show. So I feel like every February, whatever, I would eventually switch to masks. So, and I said I already have to design for the next year's mask as well. So why I changed it up is just because, I don't know, need a change. And I will be eventually, like I'll keep saying this, I just haven't had a chance to do it yet. We're eventually going to be moving the lair around. So nothing special there either. I just kind of like, I want to get the camera where I can maybe get, because as of right now, the way everything's set up, I get the camera as far back as possible. I can only get like 5 guests in here. And I've had several times where people are just like, well, mostly it's the corn children. But I've had other people like call me up and they're like, hey, you know, care if I swing on? I'm like, dude, I'm kind of booked. I can't kick the corn children off. You know, it'd be really shitty of me. Like, get out of here. I want something. No, I can't do that. So I'm like, I would love to have you on here, but there's just no room. So I'm gonna try to get to where I can actually back the camera up even more, maybe incorporate more, maybe just switch the seating around. I don't know. I'll figure something out. But yeah, that's coming up in the future there. And then Xavier. One of my Phantom friends on Facebook want to know if have I reviewed The Descent yet, and I have. It was back, I did like the summer movie marathon where I did like 5 reviews in a row, and it was one of those. So yes, I did. And just quick little thing, I gave it a thumbs up. I really liked it. So definitely check out, you know, the summer movie marathon. And then finally, Ghostface Kid had a couple questions for me. First question was Ford or Chevy, and like you, I don't know much about vehicles. Like I'm not a car guy. I'm not a muscle gearhead, you know, musclehead. But if I had to pick between Ford and Chevy, I had a Chevy once, and it was a decent truck. I mean, it wasn't bad. Family don't only do trucks, and I've had a Cavalier. I actually had 2 Cavaliers, and they were, you know, they ran pretty good. Problem with Cavalier, I don't know, like Cavaliers seem like they'll run perfectly, and then once they shit out once, they're just fucking done. But I guess if I had to pick, I'd go Chevy, just because all my friends who had Fords were always just pissed off at them. And that's usually what you'd always hear, like they'd be working on it, and they're like, well, I know what the problem is, it's a fucking Ford, and they throw a wrench at it or something like that. Now, once again, I really don't know the difference, like I couldn't even tell you. But if I'm just saying, like, you know, you put 2 cars in front of me, like, okay, this is a Ford and this is a Chevy, I'm probably going to take the Chevy just because of the friends' experience. So, and then your next question was that if I was in a horror movie, or I guess if I just set up a serial killer in real life, what would my weapon of choice be? And of course, you kept trying to, you're like, you know, not that I would, you know, and I see what you're saying. Like, I'm not going to lie, though. Like, comedian Bill Burr once put it, there are 2 types of psychos in this world. There are functioning psychos, which are the people who have the twisted, sick thoughts, but they don't really do anything with it, you know. We still function in society. And then you have the real psychos that do go out and do messed up stuff and then put a gun in their mouth and pull a trigger. I don't know. But I like to consider, like, I mean, I do have those thoughts where I'm like, you know, I'm at work and I'm just like, man, I would love to just take this hammer and start bushing people's fucking heads in. And I wouldn't do that. And I wouldn't joke about that either, because right now everybody's really on edge of all these, like, different workplace violence and school shootings and theater shootings. Like, no, you can't joke about that shit anymore. So, but I'm not gonna lie, I think the hammer. Which seems kind of odd, because, I mean, because what I'm thinking about, when I first heard the question, I'm like, man, I'm just thinking butcher knife. Like, automatically butcher knife. Or I'm thinking axe. But I'm just really out of shape and fat. I'm like an axe, I got like fucking swing and shit, and I'm like, oh, I can't do that. Butcher knife would be better. But more thing about it's the hammer. And the reason why I'm picking the hammer is, a few years ago, I was actually working at a haunted house. And this haunted house, they had like different areas, and they would actually assign you a role. Not necessarily just the guy pops out, you know, whatever. But he was actually a character. And my character was Jacob Quint, and I was this cook. And I had this kitchen, and I actually brought in real shit. And I taped it up, but I never told them. They want me to bring in, like, fake props. But I never told them that, because to me, like, you know, they gave me, like, this really fake-looking wooden cleaver. It looked bad. Like, you can just tell it was fake and painted. So I brought in a real meat cleaver, because it looks real. Like, you see that light hit it, you know, it glints. I like the look. I want realism. And it was taped up, and I had it. No one's going to get hurt with it. So I had all my little tools of destruction and everything. And I had, like, you know, body parts, and I had fake blood everywhere. I had, like, you know, cornstarch blood so I can, you know, eat it and everything. But I always had a hammer. Not like a meat tenderizing hammer, like Leatherface fucking used to hit somebody in the head. No, it was like a legit hammer. Like, it was just a hammer that, it was like my grandfather's hammer. It was just paint covered and old and a little rusted. And it was just something about that I really liked the weight in my hand. And I'd have people, and of course when you're in a haunted house, people who've done the haunts before, they know what I'm talking about. You can always tell who's scared and who isn't. So I would trap. I would get up close to, like, you know, this young girl who's just clearly frightened. And of course, the outfit, I didn't have the masking like that. I had like my face was kind of painted up grayish. And I had like this blood that would come down. In my mind, I was trying to get like this Eddie look from Rocky Horror, like I just had a lobotomy. But it didn't quite come out that way. It just more came out like blood, and then it came down. But anyways, and at the time I had longer hair, so I had like the hair slicked back, but I had like a little bit, like a little Jack Nicholson, if you will, like hanging in the front. So I just backed into the corner, and I, you know, hand on the wall, got back there, and I had the hammer here, and I just loved taking the hammer and hitting it above him. Like I'd have it sideways so I wouldn't go through it, but I just, boom, and I just loved, I don't know, and then they'd walk by and hit the, you know, the table with it, and you always get a jump out of that, so I always liked the hammer. Now, it wouldn't be the most effective tool, unless if you got that first strike in the head, but I don't know, I feel like once you get the strike in the head and they're down, you can take the claw and fucking hit them with it and pull a jawbone. I don't know, you can do some sick shit with it. So yes, what's in the choice? I'd probably go hammer. So, big hammer, good size hammer, fucking Thor type hammer. Alright, so that was it. Thank you guys, I really do appreciate the questions. Once again, you got any kind of questions whatsoever, for me or any of the guests or whatever, you know how to do it. Phantom Friends over on Facebook, hit me up there. Of course, you know, personal messages, plus comments right down below. MovieFam7@gmail.com, and of course, video response. So boom, there we go. Alright, let's get to some reviews now, shall we? First, we're going to go back to 1981, and we're going to stay there for both of these. First one is Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. Now, 13 Wolfman, he gave me a list of stuff. He's like, you know, would you care to review these? Like, no problem. And, yeah, actually came across Dark Knight of the Scarecrow on YouTube. They actually had the full movie there. And then I just got lucky with this one. Like, I was like, I'll do this one. And then, like, I was like, I'll probably have to wait until I can get a copy of it. And then, just by coincidence, Ryan, 1988, was running a contest to have the exact movie that I was going to review. I was like, well, I might as well give it a shot. And then I won, so, you know, thank you, Ryan, for that. So, yeah. So, The Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. Basically, it's about this young retarded man who, he befriends this young girl, but, like, some of the people in the town just don't like that. Especially one guy who's a postal worker, and he's just like, you know, he just doesn't want that shit to go down at all. And, of course, when this young girl gets attacked by this dog, they automatically assume, like, the retarded guy, like, attacked her. And before even finding out the facts, dude, they lynch him, they get him, and he runs, but they catch him. Or they don't catch him. He's actually dressed up as a scarecrow to hide. He's hiding in plain sight, but they see him there. Like, the dog sniffed him out, and they can see that it's actually him. And, of course, they gun him down. And then, of course, his spirit comes back, or his body comes back, or whatever. And he's getting revenge. He's knocking them off one at a time. Really good movie. I was actually surprised, because whenever I found out it was a TV movie, I'm like, oh, I guess this is going to be cheap and cheesy and TV acting. And it actually wasn't that bad. I mean, there's a few scenes where it has like those TV production values, but overall, it's really good. It has some creepy moments, actually. And just overall, it's a damn good story. I mean, it's a familiar story that we've seen, you know, numerous times, but it's really executed really good here. I thought the entire cast did really good. Charles Dunning, whatever his name is, motherfucking main dude. He was really good in this. I noticed that the dad from Son-in-Law was in this. Like, he's younger, and he's skinnier. But it was him. I was like, holy shit. He plays the first dude who gets, like, knocked off. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure what else to go on about this. It was a really good movie. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what I can actually say. Not as bloody as I would have liked. Once again, it was a TV movie, so it wasn't quite the gore wasn't there. Yeah, Oh man, I'm drawing a blank right now on what to say about this movie. I mean, overall, it was just a huge thumbs up. Really dug it. Wouldn't mind getting it on DVD. Actually, I would like to get this. Yeah, music's good. Death scenes are good. Just overall, good movie. Sorry, it's a lackluster review, but I don't know what to say. I mean, I overall, I just thought it was really good. Yeah, I mean, I thought that guy, the main guy, it was just kind of to see him kind of slip. Like, the whole time, like, the whole movie, early on, he's like, he's kind of a dick anyway, obviously, because he, killed a retarded man. But he kind of he's cool about it. He's got everything under control. But then as, like, people start, his friends keep getting knocked off one by one, he starts losing his grip on reality. And at one point, he has, like, this little kid here, and he's, like, threatening her in the cornfield, but... Yeah, really good, and then, of course, dude gets run down. I know it's like my favorite thing, because I'm like, I always love when people are getting chased by something, and never once decide to veer left or right. Like, this dude's in the turbine or combine and coming down on him, and he's just running straight. I'm just like, dude, just roll to the side. Or run toward it. Like, run to the side and then around it. The motherfucker have to, like, turn this whole thing around. No, he just runs straight and then falls over, and eventually, he don't even get killed by that. He actually runs into the pitchfork that's held by a Scarecrow, which, that's what the form that, this retarded man has taken. Yeah, it's just really, it is, the ending story cool. I mean, because once again, the little girl knows the Scarecrow came back, and the Scarecrow is her friend. So I kind of like that, get flour and everything. So overall, you get a chance to check it out. It's actually here on YouTube, Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. Check it out. It's really good. Alright, moving right along. Also from 1981, Deadly Blessing, where this young guy who, he's got a wife and everything, he was a former, what the fuck is the name of the group? Not Shiites, Tehites. It's some kind, it's like Amish, but not. Anyways, he was a member, and of course, he left the group, and they shunned him, but he's still like on the property, like he has his own property that was a part of the land or whatever. Anyways, when he dies, he was murdered. The cult is trying to, like, they're kind of horn in on it. They want the property back and everything. And, of course, people are getting picked off and everything. This is a really good movie. Once again, no one else kind of shocked it, because I've heard a lot of people talk about it. But I'm like, it's Wes Craven, and I didn't even know, like, this was a Wes Craven movie. Like, I never even heard of this until it actually right before the contest came out. Like, whenever Scream Factory was about to release it, I remember seeing a couple of videos of people talking about, like, coming up, Deadly Blessing is going to be released from Scream Factory. So that's the first time I ever heard of it. And I was like, man, I didn't even know Wes Craven did this. So I checked it out and everything. And I had very low expectations for whatever reason. And it turned out to be really good. Now, I'm going to throw some spoilers in here. So, by all means, just, fast forward. I'll probably end after this anyway. So, if you want to turn it off now, go right ahead. Yeah, I really thought Michael Berryman would have more. Like, because he's featured right here. And I even remember, like, people saying, like, my uncle told me, like, he remember watching this movie. He said he just remember, like, Michael Berryman scared him the most. And I just took that as, like, oh, this dude's, like, the killer or whatever. So I assumed Michael Berryman was, like, the main... But no, he plays like a retarded, man, too. But no, he gets knocked off, like, first 20 minutes. I'm like, holy shit, I wasn't expecting that. So now I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? However, they want to lead you to believe, like, maybe it's something to do with the cult. Like, the cult's behind it. Ernest Borgnine plays, like, the leader. Isaiah, I think is his name, and he plays like the leader of the cult. Or religious group, or you want to call it, same thing, I guess. And anyways, they it's trying to get you to think it's them. And I don't know, I guess I've seen enough movies where I just know, I guess, in this direction. And I automatically assumed it was going to be the daughter. Now, it wasn't necessarily the daughter, it was her mother. But, of course, the daughter's a little nuts, too. Or son. It does have, like, a sleepaway camp type twist to it. Slightly. So, but yeah, I mean, aside from that, though, it was a pretty good movie. I mean, enjoyable to watch. Sharon Stone's in here, and I just do not like Sharon Stone, and this is no exception. Like, I don't know, the fact that it's her, I just don't like her, and I was hoping, like, she'd get picked off, and she doesn't. The friend does. This one right here. And it's just funny because I've seen this. There's an episode of Family Guy, it's a recent episode, or recent-ish, where they talk about how, like, girls are 80s hot. Which means, I guess, they wouldn't really be considered hot today by today's standards, but like in the 80s, these women could rule. And so I see her, I'm just like, she's 80s hot, isn't she? Like, isn't that 80s hot? That's not an insult. I'm not trying to talk bad about this girl. I mean, she's a very attractive girl, but she does have like this, like, Kelly McGillis type, look to her. not saying Kelly McGillis is like a dog or anything. She's just not, you know, she's not today hot. She's 80s hot. That's what I'm trying to say. So, and it turned out she was like the slutty one in the group. Like, she was the one that was trying to get in the pants of this young Amish boy. Well, you'd assume Sharon Stone would be that girl, because I guess she's just a whore in general. But no, really, you know, really good. And the thing I didn't like initially when I'm watching this movie, and this is big spoiler, so please, if you have not seen this, just fucking turn this off now. I'm okay with that. You will not hurt my feelings. But at the end, like the very last part, like the whole time this has been grounded in reality. Like, you know, there's a weird cult. They keep talking about the incubus, and there's a demon and all sort of stuff. At the end of the movie, it takes this crazy supernatural left turn. Like, out of nowhere. And it threw me off, like, holy shit, what the fuck's going on? Because she sees, like, her dead husband standing there trying to warn her. And it's not much of a warning, because literally, instantly, this fucking demon pops out of the floorboards, fucking snatches her up, back down, floorboards cover himself back up. And I'm like, and it just ends like, what the fuck? Like, I was not expecting that. And initially I was just like, man, that's kind of dumb. But the more I think about it, I'm like, that's kind of fucking brilliant. Like, that should be like in every movie. Like, every movie is like grounded in reality. Just at the end, have a big fucking crazy demon bust out the floorboards, snatch you up and pull you under. That's it right there. I mean, the more I think about it, more I'm just like, that was pretty fucking brilliant. Like, I like that. I was actually, I'm impressed. I was really impressed by it. Deadly Blessing, I highly recommend. You know, like most typical Wes Craven, you know, he has strong female leads, and this is no exception. The main girl, I can't think of what her name was in the movie at all. Was it Mary? Martha, that's it. Sorry, I was all over the fucking place here. Yeah, she, you know, she's really believing. And once again, when they kind of come off as strong, I do like that. Like, I don't want my girls just constantly, oh my god, and, you know, I like them to, you know, want to have, you know, will and determination and fight back a little bit. Sharon Stone, on the other hand, she was just like the whiny, like, oh, we're going to die. And I'm like, really? You should have died. Why didn't she die? Anyways, but no, I did like that, and, you know, she does kind of come back. One interesting scene I thought, because I'm not scared of snakes. I own a snake. Snakes don't bother me. But that scene was still kind of creepy when she's just naked. It is like a scene that kind of looks like something out of Nightmare on Elm Street, because, you know, she's in the bathtub, her legs are like this, and the water's right there. And the killer, who we find out later is the mom, comes in with the snake and then drops it in there with her. And it's in there the whole time, and you're just like, oh, and it's an awkward scene to watch. Like, I'm just like, oh my god, that thing can bite you. And of course, her legs are like this, so the whole time it's in my mind. Maybe I'm just a pervert for thinking, but I'm just like, it's gonna bite her. And I'm like, well, she's the main character, she ain't gonna die, but I'm still like, it's still a weird, I'm just like, oh my god, get out of there, you know. Crazy scene. Yeah, other than that, like I said, overall, not sure what I was gonna say about this. It's a damn good movie. I definitely urge everybody to check this out. And yeah, I'm actually kind of disappointed I didn't know about this before. I mean, say this is a damn good movie, and yeah, I'm really glad I got to see it. So, 13 Wolfman, thank you for introducing me to 2 new movies. I really appreciate it, and I will definitely, you got some other requests I got on my list, and I'll definitely hit them up too. So, Dark Knight and Scarecrow, Deadly Blessing, both of them, thumbs up, check them out. I'm the Movie Phantom. I'm out of here. Later.